shots makes me wanna eat. Chocolate in my mouth, chocolate.
How do you change your scream?
mouth.
Wait, let's take a deep breath. Okay, and go.
And that would have been really cute to go into when we fucked it all up for your dick.
Fuck.
Hello, everybody. I am Elana Meta, and welcome to another Wild Wednesday. This is
Dina.
And I'm Chelsea.
and we are providing you with a conversation around intimacy, the word fuck, and you living in a body you trust.
I guess to start, I have a confession to make, but it's pretty embarrassing. I have never had a cervical orgasm.
Wow.
I know, fucking embarrassing.
I'm not really sure if I've even really had one, so I might be in the same boat, but nothing to be ashamed about.
That's more of my like, whoa, that it's embarrassing because there's so many women that have not had a cervical orgasm and how much shame is around that.
It feels like something that is talked about and that I should have, but yeah, just a little bit of like a disembodiment going on is what I'm checking into.
I actually don't think that there's that many people that even know what a cervical orgasm is.
Yeah, well, maybe let's start there.
Okay.
Tell us the kinds of orgasms
What-
that we have.
Well, there's three main types of orgasms that women can have, which is the clitoris.
Have had that.
Yes,
yeah.
pretty
Yes.
sure about that one.
Then there's the G-spot, which oftentimes when a woman squirts, that is what you're hitting. And then the cervix is even deeper, and it feels like you're hitting a wall if you are a man and you have a penis and you're hitting a woman's cervix. That wall, that is what you're feeling. So those are the three specific types, and a cervical orgasm is a lot more challenging, definitely because of the awareness and the attunement that a woman needs to have in her own body and the buildup of that sensation for her to actually have a climatic experience. And I don't feel like there's a lot of time that's even taken to warm a woman up for her to get to that place where she feels fully open for the energy to move through.
Yeah.
And this is actually something that I have around the elements
Okay.
with a woman's orgasm. So
Yeah.
men, listen up. So
I'll listen too.
there are over 8,000 nerve endings in the clitoris alone. So like ladies, we are literally wired for pleasure. And that spark, that stimulation to open a woman to get her turned on is the fire. It's the spark. It's starting with that. So starting with the clitoris and then going inside to the G-spot, which water, getting her to squirt. And also for men or women, whoever is fingering who, it's not about, the G-spot like you're hitting a button. It's about listening. It's about feeling on the inside and exploring and being curious. Curiosity is such a sexy piece of like when a man goes down on me, like he's never been there before, like sure, you've gone down on other women and maybe you've even gone down on me before, but my body is different based on my experience of that day where I am emotionally. Go there in a beginner's mindset. It is the sexiest thing from there. So we got fire with the clitoris, the G-spot with water, and then the cervix and hitting that wall. That is the earth element. And by hitting that and having that awareness, because I say with the meditations, which is a whole other conversation, I use the earth element for mindfulness meditation. So bringing that mindfulness to that space and building the energy. And from there, the element of air gets to come in where you're pulling and squeezing that energy that's hitting that earth up with the element of air through what I call the sexual channel to be pulled up to have a type of experience, which is air. So we got our fire, clitoris, the G-spot, water, the cervix, earth, and then pulling that up through the sexual channel for the air to have this unbelievable meta cosmic orgasm.
Snaps on that. I love how much that like grounds it into something that feels really tangible, but I feel like before you can even, let's talk about what happens before you even get to that state. I mean, how do you even create the space for that to be a safe space, I guess, to take
And I
that
feel
time.
like there's a lot of this that can, for some, might seem, for us, like, because we've explored some of this and we've had you a bit of a guide and are sort of in this world, but it can be a bit woo-woo.
Totally.
Right? So how do we sort of narrow it down? What are steps we can take to activate our bodies to get in touch for men and women?
Fully. I'll say something about the esoteric woo-woo, because this conversation, it's not about going like up and out, which so many people have this idea that spirituality is that. But in fact, by bringing it to a sexual context about like down and in, and realizing that so much of our healing, our awareness, that state of like peace, balance, tranquility, wholeness, comes from creating and cultivating a different relationship with our genitals. By saying kind things to ourselves, knowing that we're worthy, knowing that we're enough. And also for like women, it takes us at least 15 minutes to get warmed up. So when we go instantly into a sexual experience and there isn't a warm-up, a woman may not even actually presently be there in her physical body.
Yeah, which is crazy because it's like 15 minutes is, I mean, if you just go straight to sex, like it's likely going to be over before a woman's even turned on.
And some men, no offense, can't last that long.
And no shame
but
to
this
that.
is nothing.
No shame.
For like, if a man is telling himself he's not big enough, if he's focused too much on how he's performing, if he's not worthy, whatever it is, if he's in his mind and he's actually not operating in a place where he's in his energy and in his body, of course that's going to happen. And there's so many practices, men, that you can do, like a testicle massage, even bringing mindfulness and curated time to be with your most powerful, like one of your most powerful tools to create life with, and to develop a different relationship with that. That type of confidence and self-esteem in itself will create higher performance levels.
And wouldn't you say the same for women?
100%.
Right?
This is why it's so important that we all have our own connection and pleasure masturbation practice. It is so essential because, like, even for me, like, I'll say my sexuality, it was my deepest trauma after going through a lot of traumatic experiences and abusive relationships, in, you know, abusive sexual experiences as well, that, you know, the idea of sex being a meditation was like, what? No way. Like,
Sex is a meditation?
Yeah, sex is the most beautiful meditation, and I'll tell you why in a second. And it was in one of my earlier relationships a couple of years ago where I was having sex in the morning with this partner, and I would, like, I'd hate him after. I felt like he was taking something from me. And my sexual healing journey started when he confronted me and said, I love you so much, but I can't make love to you, have sex with you, if you're gonna hate me every single time I do so. And I was like, you're fucking right. And that was my impulse to really start my healing journey, which now, through going into the darkest corners of my psyche and the things that I've shamed and created so much guilt around, you know, like, to go to those places, to now see meditation is my favorite in connection with another person, because it's accountability. It's vulnerable, but it's my breath in connection with another's. It's my body's movement. It's the deepest sense of listening and allowing myself to have focus while building my energy. And for that to then get a result and have a climatic experience based on that. And
have everybody walking around with the best climactic experiences and take that into the world with them.
What a better
And it
world
starts
we live
with,
in.
what is the narrative that we're telling ourselves? How are we fucking ourselves before we actually go into these other sexual encounters with other people? Because we can say fuck as, like a penetrative sexual act, but also it's an internal and external way in which we use dialogue, right? So, like, how are we using our fuck in the world? Are we fucking ourselves by saying sweet and kind things? Or are we not? So therefore, when someone fucks us, we're validating that other story with that energy, because our fuck is so powerful.
And how quickly are we trying to get to the orgasm instead of experiencing the journey?
Exactly.
And experiencing the other person that we're in connection with.
Are you in for the climax or the whole ride?
Right.
And are you using your fuck and fucking your fears, or are you fucking with love?
And to bring it back, so on these tips, it sounds like for men, the, you know, testicular massage is a great, I just made up a word.
No, it's good. But here's the thing, like, for all of us, even just to know our anatomy.
Right.
For, like, men to know a woman's anatomy and vice versa, like, so important. Like, women, know your pleasure down there. Like, for us to know our turn on is the key. Don't give it to someone else. Claim it for ourselves.
Because if I can't turn myself on, how is it fair to expect anyone else to be able to turn me on?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I would say, women, get naked, look at yourself in the mirror, say sweet, kind things to yourself. I am beautiful. I am powerful. I am grounded. I am worthy. I am a queen. All these things, because this is your queendom. Right?
Queendom!
And then, like, take some time to be with yourself and to make your masturbation practice not about porn, but about, like, your power as a man. And, like, cultivating that and feeling like, yeah, I have power and I have love and I have life and I have force in me. Because force without life is actually extracting from life. So how can you find and cultivate a healthy relationship with your force in culmination with life? So powerful.
So powerful.
Thanks for that.
Thank you for your vulnerability, babe.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mama.
Yeah, because it's an absolute permission for us to have this conversation and for so many women and men to just know the power and healing of our sexuality and our genitals. And it does get to be a meditation if we want it to be. And it doesn't have to go there necessarily, but, like, let's take steps because this is our connection.
Let's all go touch ourselves.
Let's just touch
Well,
ourselves.
I want to touch you both now.